Good Monday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation 30 News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new week, which means it's a brand new opportunity for you to do something amazing, and it all begins today. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Monday. We have the truth of the day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and today's entertainment spotlight being part of my conversation with Dr. Arethusa Kirk. You definitely don't want to miss that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation 30 News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Monday headlines. In national news, Fauci says U.S. headed in wrong direction on coronavirus. The United States is in an unnecessary predicament of soaring COVID-19 cases fueled by unvaccinated Americans and the Delta variant, the nation's top infectious disease expert said on Sunday. We're going in the wrong direction, said Dr. Anthony Fauci, describing himself as very frustrated. He said recommending that the vaccinated wear a mask is under active consideration by the government's leading public health officials. Also, booster shots may be suggested for people with suppressed immune systems who have been vaccinated, he said. Fauci, who also serves as President Joe Biden's chief medical advisor, told CNN State of the Union that he has taken part in conversations about altering the mask guidelines. He noted that some local jurisdictions where infection rates are surging, such as Los Angeles County, are already calling on individuals to wear masks in indoor public spaces regardless of vaccination status. Fauci said those local rules are compatible with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommendation that the vaccinated do not need to wear a mask in public. Nearly 163 million people, or 49%, of the eligible U.S. population are vaccinated, according to CDC data. This is an issue among the unvaccinated, which is the reason why we're out there practically pleading with the unvaccinated people to go out and get vaccinated, Fauci said. Fauci said government experts are reviewing early data as they consider whether to recommend that vaccinated individuals get booster shots. He suggested that some of the most vulnerable, such as organ transplant and cancer patients, are likely to be recommended for booster shots. What I would really like to see is more and more of the leaders in those areas that are not vaccinating to get out and speak out and encourage people to get vaccinated, Fauci said. In more national news, Pelosi appoints second GOP critic of Trump to January 6th committee. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Sunday announced a second Republican critic of Donald Trump, Representative Adam Kinzinger, to a special committee investigating the Capitol riot and pledged that the Democratic majority panel will get to the truth. Kinzinger said he humbly accepted the appointment, with the committee set to hold its first meeting, hearing from police officers who battled the rioters. Pelosi said it was imperative to learn what happened on January the 6th when insurrectionists disrupted the congressional certification of Joe Biden's presidential victory and why the violent siege took place. That mission, she said, must be pursued in a bipartisan manner to ensure such an attack can never happen again. Kinzinger will bring great patriotism to the committee's mission to find the facts and protect our democracy, Pelosi said in the statement. In more national news, 1960s civil rights activist Robert Moses has died. Robert Paris Moses, a civil rights activist who endured beatings and jail while leading black voter registration drives in the American South during the 1960s and later helped improve minority education and math, has died. He was 86 years old. Moses worked to dismantle segregation as a Mississippi field director of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee during the Civil Rights Movement and was central to the 1964 Freedom Summer, in which hundreds of students went to the South to register voters. Moses started his second chapter in civil rights work by founding the 1982 The Algebra Project thanks to the MacArthur Foundation. The project includes a curriculum Moses directed to help poor students succeed in math. In entertainment news, Jackie Mason, comic who perfected Amused Outrage, dies at 93. Jackie Mason, a rabbi-turned-comedian whose feisty brand of stand-up comedy led to Catskill nightclubs, West Coast talk shows, and Broadway stages, has died. Mason died Saturday at 6 p.m. at Mount Sinai Hospital in Manhattan after being hospitalized for over 2 weeks, his attorney told the Associated Press. And finally, in more entertainment news, on a quiet weekend, old top Snake Eyes sinks. M. Night Shyamalan's Old easily won a slower weekend at the North American box office, while the G.I. Joe pick Snake Eyes lived up to its name. Although both fresh offerings from major studios, moviegoers turned out in modest numbers on a weekend where there was a notable distraction of the Olympics as well as rising concerns about the Delta variant. Universal on Sunday said that Old grossed an estimated $17 million. Paramount's Snake Eyes origin story brought in an estimated $13 million in ticket sales. That made the top 5 movies over the weekend. Number 1, Old, with $17 million. Number 2, Snake Eyes, with $13 million. Number 3, Black Widow, with $12 million. Number 4, Space Jam: A New Legacy, with $10 million. And number 5, F9, with $5 million. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Forgiveness is heart medicine. Forgiveness is a healing tool in your life. You may choose to use it at any moment. It is the most powerful heart medicine you have available. Forgiveness teaches you to release your sadness in order to find gratitude for what you have learned. Forgiveness gives you the joy and freedom of knowing you are never alone. Even when you are by yourself, the power of forgiveness sends you love, the love of self. Remember, forgiveness is not necessarily about forgiving the other person. It is always about forgiving yourself for listening to that other person or doing something you knew you should not have done. Forgive yourself for not listening to your knowings or God. Forgiveness takes you from pain and isolation and fear all the way back to knowing God. Today, know that no more fearful dreams will come now that you rest in God. Enjoy the day.
Dr. Arethusa Kirk is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Dr. Arethusa Kirk joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about not only what needs to be done about the over 400,000 children in foster care in the United States, but also where we can get other resources. Here's a bit of our conversation. What are some of the challenges that children in the foster care system face?
Well, the reality is that we often talk about adverse childhood experiences, and children in foster care have experienced a trauma by the mere fact that they've been removed from their home. They are often 2 times more likely to be diagnosed with a learning disability, 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD, 5 times more likely to be diagnosed with anxiety, and 7 times more likely to be diagnosed with depression. This is a traumatic experience. At the same time, the many resources and skills that children learn to deal with that trauma and coping are really, in truth, also the strengths that will help them build the resilience that they need for adulthood. So, pediatrics is really built on this notion of early intervention and prevention. And so the earlier we can intervene and help provide behavioral health services as well as many other supports, we really help children thrive and survive.
And I think that thriving is so important. United Healthcare has partnered with a lot of different groups over the years, among them being Sesame Street now for more than 10 years. Dr. Kirk, can you kind of talk to us a little bit about the resources that the Sesame Workshop has provided, not only for the families, but also for communities too?
Yeah, Sesame Street has often been on the vanguard of diverse and inclusive programming, and they now have a Muppet named Carly who's in out-of-home placement as a foster child, and she deals with many emotions that children in foster care are often experiencing. They have resources for foster parents as well as anybody else who's taking care of children in foster care, including video, storybook, printables. And the goal of these resources is really to help send home the message that helps children feel heard, seen, safe, and hopeful.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on tomorrow with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.